Check, check, check. 1, 2. Third delay. There it is. Okay.
Right, left, right, go left, right.
Fuck off. Almost done. It'd be cool if I could, like, build a program.
The bond between these soldiers continues to grow. They can gain additional tactical strengths if they continue their training together. Commander, this facility will allow our soldiers to train together to improve their bonds, while also putting the knowledge they've gained in combat towards learning new abilities.
The Reapers believe in nothing, and share little interest in preserving the true nature of our world, beyond what their eyes can show them. Their actions have enraged the Elders, and brought fear to their minions. In that respect, they are a valued ally, as long as they remain loyal to our cause.
Oh, one is a non-movement, and one is a movement. Okay, actually, what to move before. Got rookies. Bro don't even got a face. What kind of garbage is that?
We have a chance to deal the Elders a great blow, should you wish us to, Commander.
Like I care if soldiers get captured. I'm saving my money.
Will do whatever is needed.
Furries.
Avenger plotting new course.
My siblings have lost sight of their purpose, for they are easily swayed by their own ambitions, their own misguided judgments. Through their faults, I will shine as the Elder's true chosen, the rightful heir to their throne, an uncontested ruler of the new world that awaits.
staff everyone? I did. We're the best.
I have made a number of interesting discoveries, Commander.
Central Officer Bradford has personally substantiated
Don't call
apparently my
Daddy
predecessor
Central
of a
Officer
brute
Bradford.
when it came to
There's disrespect on this man. Where am I supposed to staff here? I don't need you anymore.
Avenger plotting new course.
Market is open.
Speed? I want speed. Yeah. What else you got? Advanced trigger. Hey look, another engineer. Can I sell you engineers?
Once I've regrouped, we will be seeing each other again.
Setting course for Sector 15, West Asia.
That's not West Asia. Literally Central Asia.
The two soldiers we sent to the training center have developed an even stronger bond.
Good for them.
If we continue to send them out together in the field, their effectiveness will only grow.
Sabotage transmitter. I'm sure explosives will
Setting
take care of
course
that.
for India.
These people spawning without shoes. What kind of person spawns without shoes? What do we want to give him now that we have another slot? Oh, obviously. Duh. I wish there was a way to just save the loadout so I could quick equip it to everyone. That'd be sick. Bro, you got no face. What the skibbity?
Deployment.
Next tonight, imagine seeing the pickup truck you sold to a Texas dealer show up overseas being driven by... Next tonight, imagine seeing the pickup truck you sold to a Texas dealer show up overseas being driven by ISIS.
True story. 10 years ago, a Texas man gets thousands of threatening phone calls after a photo of his work truck with his company name and phone number on the side got blasted all over Twitter by Syrian jihadists. So how did an F-250 from a Harris County plumber end up becoming a war technical truck in Syria?
Well, a plumber in Texas has certainly been anxious to tell anyone who will listen that he is not selling vehicles to ISIS.
This is one of my most favorite tales because it involves some of my favorite things: lawsuits, cars, heavy machine guns, humorously grave consequences arising from mild negligence. Today, we talk about the jihadi plumber truck. Back in 2013, two seemingly different things were happening in two seemingly similar parts of the world. In Syria, third phase of a bloody civil war in full swing, and in Houston, plumber Mark Oberholzer needed to replace his F-250 work truck, but coincidence, or possibly the hand of Allah, brought these two events together in history and made one of the best lawsuits American courts have ever seen. According to the petition, Oberholzer needed to replace his truck for his company, Mark I Plumbing. He brought his 2005 Ford F-250 to AutoNation Ford, got down to business with the salesman Ed Velasquez, ultimately culminating in a trade-in. Mark trades in his 2005 for a shiny, newish 2012 F-250. Around the same time, civil war raging in Syria, where President Bashar al-Assad found himself in a tenuous position as the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, better known by their stage name ISIS, was making inroads towards overthrowing the probably awful Syrian government to replace it with a probably worse Islamic extremist caliphate. Raqqa had fallen, Aleppo was on the brink. In the midst of this power vacuum, numerous other jihadi groups saw this as an opportunity to make a name for themselves in a new Syria, and the fledgling Ansar al-Din front had stars in its eyes and high explosives under its tunics, but it needed weaponry to peel away the remnants of a totalitarian dictatorship. Mark, on the other hand, just wanted to peel away his old logo and phone number from the truck that he just traded in while he waited on the salesman to finish the paperwork. According to the petition, Ed, the salesman, asked Mark to stop picking at the decals on the side of his truck because it could damage the paint. The dealership would take care of it professionally. Mark obliged, and he drove off into the Texas sunset with his brand new truck. To Mark, his F-250 helped him get from job to job, to stop leaks and replace toilet flappers. In many parts of the Middle East, this F-250 would be repurposed as a non-standard tactical vehicle, also known as a technical. So in 1980s, 1990s, Somalia, super hot down there, NGOs who needed protection were not permitted or just not interested in arming their personnel or importing mercenaries or private security forces, so they would obtain technical assistance grants to pay off local warlords for protection. That protection came in the form of converted everyday pickup trucks with armed men and mounted weaponry, thus referred to as technicals. They're mobile, they can carry mounted weapons, personnel, in the case of a larger truck like perhaps, I don't know, an F-250, both. And most importantly, they're cheap if you know where to source them. If you're a budding jihadist group looking for a land of plentiful and cheap trucks, where would you look? A place where the extended cabs flow like wine. I don't know. Maybe Texas. In October, Mark trades in his F-250. In November, mysterious purchaser buys Mark's old F-250 over the phone at a dealer auction. And on December 18, with the ink barely dry in Mark's contract, his old truck is exported to Turkey. Mark had probably forgotten about his truck when a year later he received a phone call from his secretary, Julie, while he was on a hunting trip. Apparently, Ansar al-Din, great social media marketing, tweeted a photo of their fighters using a 2005 Ford F-250 with an anti-aircraft gun in the back and a big fat Mark I plumbing logo on the doors, including Mark's cell phone number. The photo went viral. Holy shit, get a gander at that dude. Even Mark would have to admit that if this happened to someone else, it's pretty funny.
I'm doing good.
You traded in your truck. A year later, Muhammad is in the back spraying 12.7 millimeter at pro-government forces half a world away with your name, your phone number on blast on the internet. According to the petition, Mark received over 1,000 phone calls the first day, and in true smooth brain fashion, most of these callers simply assumed that Mark was un-American enough to send his truck to fight in a holy war and dumb enough to leave his phone number on the side of it. For God's sakes, the man's Texan. I mean, the latter, sure. It's totally possible, but there's no way a Texan is sending his truck to support an anti-American militant group, much less a Middle Eastern one. But the callers jihaded to conclusions as the petition alleged that Mark and his family received countless, quote, expletive-laden death threats, forcing him to leave town and shut down his business. Poor Julie refused to return to the office because someone called her, dead serious, an ISIS whore. To make matters worse, DHS and the FBI tracked down and questioned Mark and the members of his company. Perhaps worse, paparazzi started stalking Mark and his employees. Stephen Colbert ran a bit about the truck that was watched by 2.5 million people, and Mark received over 100 phone calls per day for weeks after the segment aired. When he called the dealership, they told Mark that they didn't have any obligation to remove his decals before they sold his car, and that they didn't feel bad for him. So what does he do? He sues them, and he asks for $1 million. First of all, what do you guys think about this? $1 million for what Mark went through. Is that excessive? Mark, I swear to God, if you're watching this and you aren't driving a Chevy right now, you're either the most loyal blue oval man of all time or part of the settlement must have included free F-250s for life. 2 years after selling his F-250, Mark put his own jihad on Charlie Thomas Ford to the tune of $1 million, claiming mental anguish, lost income, damage to his business reputation. Mark filed several causes of action, run-of-the-mill negligence, respondeat superior, basically saying that the actions of salesman Ed are the actions of the dealership. This is commonplace, as employers are often liable for their employees' official actions on the job, and the employers often have deeper pockets and more insurance coverage than their individual employees. He also sued for fraudulent inducement, negligent misrepresentation, saying he wouldn't have traded the truck in if he hadn't been assured that the decals were going to be removed, sued for defamation, invasion of privacy, violations of the Unfair Trade Practices Act because Charlie Thomas Ford caused Mark I Plumbing to be associated with, quote, terroristic and or jihadist ties. Side note, I wonder if the dealership raised an affirmative defense stating that Mark profited from the massive amounts of free advertising, but I'd guess not. In my opinion, Mark's big one here is run-of-the-mill negligence. The argument would be Charlie Thomas Ford had a duty to remove the decals. They didn't remove the decals. This failure caused Mark's injury, and Mark was injured. There's no question that the dealership didn't remove the decals. It caused injury to Mark, but did they have a duty to remove it? And even if they did, was the risk of their customer being threatened and becoming the center of national media in a shitty YouTube video 10 years later, if they didn't remove the decal, was that foreseeable enough that they should be punished? We'll never know because this case settled for a confidential sum, but you tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for listening to the story.
I mean, he did say, he literally was like, he was trying to take the decal off, and the dealership was like, no, we'll take care of it. And then they're like, we don't have an obligation. Fuck them, bro.
Advent has constructed a psionic transmitter in this area, tied directly into their primary network. Our intel suggests destroying it while it's still connected will severely damage their linked system. Explosives before they have a chance to pull the plug.
Allá voy.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Position confirmed.
I trust you.
Good copy. Moving on target.
Completely.
Okay. Voy a la posición designada.
Heading there now.
Headed there now.
The turning point.
Heading
is
to that
now.
location.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Me dirijo allí.
Stepping off.
Why, bro? Genocide is wrong. Pretty easy.
I'm on the move. They're on to us.
Sure.
Moving out! هيا بنا.
I wanted to test if this was going to be better than Restream, but I'm probably going to have to switch over because the latency is so bad. I wonder what will happen if I just like interrupt a stream in progress on that side.